Have y'all seen that video about that girl who came on here to let everybody know about the
where 18,000 people have HIV in Philadelphia?
Found out I was HIV positive after noticing strange spots on my body and experiencing high fevers. It all started after a night out with my friend.
Studies have shown that in most SSA societies, 80% of new HIV infections in women are estimated to occur in marriage or long-term relationships through heterosexual transmission.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just
Where 18,000 people have HIV in Philadelphia, over 40,000 people have HIV either in North Carolina or South Carolina. I'm not sure. It's one or the other. I'm not sure. But I just recently saw a video of a girl saying that it was recorded to have, I believe, over 200,000 people had HIV in Texas. And the girl was saying like it was an event, a big event that happened. A lot of shit was going on. A lot of people got tested after that event. And 200,000, they recorded 200,000 people. 200,000 people. I just keep on saying it because my brain keeps on getting fucked up by it.
I found out I was HIV positive after noticing strange spots on my body and experiencing high fevers. It all started after a night out with my friend. I remember drinking a lot way, more than I should have. Things got so out of hand that I completely lost control of what I was doing. My friend tried to get me home safely, but we ended up arguing and she decided to leave. I stayed at the party with some other friends and eventually met this guy. He seemed fun and the last thing one remember was dancing and having a great time. The next morning, I woke up in his bed, confused and unable to recall most of the night. I left before he woke up, brushing it off like it was no big deal. I thought that night wouldn't have any consequences, but a month later, I started losing a lot of weight. I was constantly running a fever, had terrible headaches, and noticed strange spots appearing on my skin. That's when panic set in deep down, had a terrible feeling about what might have happened that night. I decided to go to the hospital, and that's when. Comment if you want to hear part 2.
I am begging you to put yourself first and be safe out here when HIV is at an all-time high. I know that there was a TikTok story of a nurse saying that she had a patient who just moved to Houston and he's like, oh, I've been with all these DLs while their wives are away, while their girlfriends are away, and you know, this and that, whatever. And HIV is at an all-time high right now. Like, it is crazy what, you know, that we have to make these calls. And I can only imagine having to get that call. But people do not care. People don't, they play this as a joke, and it's not a fucking joke. We had a man come into the clinic, and he was an older gentleman. And as soon as he comes in, he's like just making jokes about the whole thing. Like, oh, I need an STI panel, blah, 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 this and that. And I asked him, you know, ID and insurance information. He's like, no insurance. It needs to be off the books. What do you mean it needs to be off the books? Like, who are you hiding from? Gets his stuff done, leaves, checks out. We have to collect payment. I ask him if he needs a receipt. He's like, no receipt. I don't need any proof.
Have y'all seen that video about that girl who came on here to let everybody know about the massive HIV outbreak that's taking over Pennsylvania and Texas right now? And I'm talking about cases in the 100,000s. Yeah, I decided to do my own little research. And when I tell you that being celibate has to be the best thing that I unintentionally did for myself, because it's scary out there. It's scary out there. Like, I think that it's about time that all of us women get on PrEP. As of 2025, the cities with the highest HIV rates in the United States are New York City, Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, and Washington, D.C. Now, I took it upon myself to go and screenshot the 20 cities with the highest counts of HIV and AIDS in the United States. This is recorded from 2024. What I had shown you before was where we're at as far as the cities with the highest rates of HIV in 2025. The new updated version or the updated list will be provided probably around the same time this was published, but I'm going to post them. And look behind me to see if your city is on this list. Starting at number 20, San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, California. Look at the rates. Next, we have San Juan, Carolina, Puerto Rico. I can't say the last part, but here's the rates for you. Los Angeles, Long Beach, Glendale, California. There's your rates. Now you have Columbia, South Carolina. West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, basically Florida. There you go. Jackson, Mississippi gets number 15. Newark, New Jersey is number 14. Washington, Arlington, Alexandria, D.C. area has number 13. Memphis, Tennessee is at number 12. Baltimore, Columbia, Towson, Maryland at number 11. Baton Rouge, Louisiana for number 10. New Orleans, Louisiana at number 9. Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta, Georgia is at number 8. New York, Jersey City, New York is at number 7. San Francisco, San Mateo, Redwood City, California is at number 6. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at number 5. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, Florida is at number 4. Look at the rates. New York, Jersey City, White Plains, New York is at number 3. Miami Beach, Kendall, Florida, number 2. And I'm going to bring you guys to number 1. At number 1 is Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, Sunrise, Florida. Look at these numbers, bro. If you're a straight woman, if you're a bi woman, if you are a poly woman, if you are a lesbian queer woman that happens to still date women who deal with other men, please start thinking about getting on PrEP. If you're sexually active, start thinking about getting on PrEP. A lot of people wanted to clown Tamar Braxton when she admitted that she takes PrEP, but we know how DL culture is set up, especially within the male gay community. It's a different type of, you understand, suppression, where they won't even get on medication like PrEP, even though it would be to help them and to keep them safe from diseases like this. They're not going to get on it for the simple fact that they associate it with being a gay drug. They won't even protect themselves, okay? And they'll still go out and do what they're doing with other men who are also not protected. And because they still want to play this whole DL part, they're going to still get with women. They're still going to have sex with women, hell, create life with women, all to try to make it seem that they're straight when they're not. Whole time infecting every woman, every person, not just the women, but even the out men that they deal with. They're endangering every single person that they get into sexual contact with. Please start thinking about getting on PrEP, because it's scary out there.
So if y'all don't know, there's a massive HIV outbreak in Pennsylvania and Texas, and it's going to continue to spread on. And I'm talking about cases that are very, very high, not hundreds, small, minor things. I'm talking about things that are very, very high. This is bad. The times that we're living in, you can see is nothing but total destruction. This is all I'm going to say.
Well, if you need motivation to stay celibate, or you need a reason to be celibate, this video is going to be that. Studies have shown that in most SSA societies, 80% of new HIV infections in women are estimated to occur in marriage or long-term relationships through heterosexual transmission. In 2021, among males, most HIV infections were attributed to male-to-male sexual contact, 81%. So, in layman's terms, 81% of men are contracting HIV from other men. Among females, most HIV infections were attributed to heterosexual contact, 82%, meaning most women, 82% of women, are contracting HIV from men. So this is pretty self-explanatory. But men, 81% of men are getting HIV from men, and 82% of women are getting HIV from men. So you know what that tells you, right? Meaning 82% of women got HIV from a man who got it from a man. So men are contracting HIV from other men and then passing it to women, which is why I really despise the DL community, and this is why I call DL men dangerous losers. Because 82% of women, a man is getting HIV from another man and giving it to her. The large majority of women are getting HIV from a man who got HIV from a man. The other percentage is drug use. The political economy of marriage and HIV. Research has shown that married women's greatest risk for HIV infection is their husband's extramarital sexual activities. Most women, 85%, who were diagnosed in 2018, acquired HIV through heterosexual sex. So, literally 85% of women contracted HIV from a man. Meanwhile, 81% of men contracted HIV also from men. So tell me again how men are not the problem? HIV-infected females evaluated at an HIV/AIDS center in South India to characterize their socio-demographics, HIV risk factors, and initial clinical presentations. The mean age was 29 years old, so the average age. 81% were housewives. 95% were currently or previously married, 95%. And 89% reported heterosexual sex as their only HIV risk factor, meaning they were not gay and they were not doing drugs. And 88% reported a history of monogamy, like most women who are married or in relationships are monogamous, unlike the men. And the men project and say women cheat just as much and try to make us sound like we're just as bad as them, but statistics time and time again show otherwise. And so does real life experiences and just, looking around and seeing what the fuck's going on. Like, almost every woman I know has always been monogamous and faithful, and the man is the one who is predominantly cheating. So basically 95% of these women were married or are married, and 88% of them only had sex with one man. One man. The majority were reproductive age. The potential for a vertical transmission of HIV impacts are alarming. Nearly half of these women initially presented asymptomatically, meaning they didn't even know they had it. They had no symptoms at all, implying that partner recruitment can enable early HIV detection, meaning taking your fucking partner to the doctor to get tested before you have sex with them and forcing them to get regularly tested. Single partner heterosexual sex with their husband was the only HIV risk factor for the majority of women. Please let that sink in. HIV prevention and intervention strategies need to focus on married monogamous, not just Indian women, but married monogamous women. Most women, 85%, who were diagnosed in 2018 acquired HIV through heterosexual sex. And men ages 13 to 34 accounted for 60% of HIV diagnoses among men, meaning it's a lot of young men, young, attractive men. Yes. The transition into marriage itself influences HIV risks. Women who marry before the age of 20 are more likely to be HIV positive than unmarried women of the same age, both because marriage typically coincides with the dramatic increase in the frequency of sexual activity, and because husbands are generally older than boyfriends and thus have had more opportunity to become infected themselves. Old, washed up men who have HIV targeting young girls. So sad. Really sad. Marriage duration may either offer protection or exacerbate, making the problem worse, the HIV risk. If both spouses enter the marriage HIV negative and remain sexually exclusive, monogamous, marriage affords considerable protection. But if, however, either spouse is already infected or is unfaithful, transitions out of marriage and divorce or widowhood are also strongly associated with HIV status. So a lot of divorces and sometimes reasons for widowing is because of HIV. A lot of people get divorced because somebody was given HIV, and a lot of the times the spouse becomes a widow because the partner died from HIV. So it might be fruitful to examine the relation between HIV infection and the sequence of one's sexual and marital life transitions, aka marriage. Basically, to dive deeper into studying how women in heterosexual marriages are at a high risk of HIV and how they literally make up almost 90% of people who have HIV. Like, of the women who are diagnosed with HIV, over 80% of them are married to males and are monogamous.
Y'all are upset because I told women to be careful because I seen something with my own eyes that was just absolutely just if y'all even cared about protecting yourselves, guess what? There's no way that you would be upset with me talking to women and telling women to make sure that they're being careful and protecting themselves. Get a life. I'm going to tell women to be careful. Y'all want to risk women's lives in peace. It's a no. And that's weird. Because I know how many women really don't suspect or would never think that the man that they deal with would lay down with other men and come directly back home to them and their kids at night. And y'all are mad at that. But one thing that I know for a fact about hit dogs is they ain't gonna miss an opportunity to holler. Saying little weird shit like, oh yeah, but y'all don't say nothing about women laying down with other women and then coming home to their husbands. The last time I checked, it is extremely rare that women are out here giving HIV to men. And if they are out here giving HIV to men, guess where they got it from? Guess where they contracted it from? A man. A man. Or drugs. Women aren't laying down with other women and contracting HIV just because. That is what men are doing. So I don't want to hear that shit no more in the comments. Y'all sound absolutely ridiculous and y'all are too fucking old to be so goofy. And then we have the men who they know that they're the down low men, but they're out in the world as if they're straight. They're seeing that post and they're getting offended by it. And because, again, hit dogs don't miss an opportunity to holler, they think that they're so slick that instead of commenting on the down low post and saying what they need to say, they don't want nobody to find them out. So they're commenting on another post on my page, trying to bring that aggression there. Y'all ain't fooling nobody but yourselves. Men who are not sexually interested in other men, they don't have no dog in this fight. Do you think that you're going to find real straight men in my comments saying little weird stuff like that? Straight men don't care and they wouldn't dare. Get a life for real.
40 million cases of HIV worldwide, and out of those 40 million people, 80% of those people are heterosexual. So you're telling me that 80% of people are getting it from the 20% of not straight people.
dating in 2025 is so treacherous. Like, y'all are really out of control and y'all are diabolical. Y'all need help. Personally, I hate the dynamics y'all have come up with. It's so disgusting. It's like women, it's like gimme, gimme, gimme. I need the money. I need all this. With men, it's only about a good time. It's just terrible. And I finally come to the conclusion that y'all need mental and psychological help. So let me help you. The number one relationship you need to tend to and you need to worry about is the relationship that you have with yourself. Because if you don't have enough love and respect for yourself, you're not going to have it for another person. And that's why y'all are out here looking like how y'all looking right now. Teach yourself discipline. Make a plan and stick to it. Have respect for yourself. Have respect for the way you move. And once you get in tune with yourself, I promise you, that's when the right person will fall into your lap. Stop going out to these clubs, hitting these dating sites, thinking you gonna find Mr. Right or Mrs. Perfect. Cause y'all look crazy and it ain't gonna happen.
All right, so they saying Philly got the most people with the House of Virginia, right? They not telling y'all who got it and who actually passing it around. They not telling y'all that. I'm gonna tell y'all though. All right, so Philly had a Broad Street walk, Broad Street run, whatever you want to call it. We had that here in Philly. And the people that was there, they are the ones that got tested for that. They the ones that got tested for that. And 18,000 people came back positive. 18,000 people at that Broad Street run, walk, whatever you want to call it, came back positive. So y'all ask yourself. Y'all gotta ask yourself and y'all gotta be logic, man. Who was at that Broad Street walk? The majority of the people. Who was there? Y'all know. I ain't even gotta say it, but y'all know who was there. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing though. It was not that much people from the hood getting up 6 o'clock in the morning doing no Broad Street run, bro. That's y'all answer right there.
So there is a new COVID strand called the MB 1.8.1, and it says it's supposed to spread a lot more rapidly, a lot more easier than the first strand when COVID first came, and it's supposed to like invade our immune system, which means that we can they can easily get sick, especially if you got the type of immune system that you can easily get sick or whatever. So they said this one is actually way more contagious than the original COVID-19. Now, I'm not surprised if, they talking about like doing another shutdown because it's already here in the U.S., even though it did came from China and it started up north, whatever, and it working its way down, throughout the United States. So I'm not surprised because we do expect for this to happen. Everyone is aware that, when people do get sick, you just have to do what you got to do, try to stay safe and whatever, trying to make the world be scared again, do the whole 6 feet apart and wear a mask and whatever, which I know a lot of people not really gonna be doing that because I know I'm not gonna be doing it. But one thing I will be doing is stacking up on my disinfectants, my Clorox and my Lysol wipes and aerosols and all of that. So, but I'm not going to get all jittery about, this new COVID strand, it's going to get me sick or whatever. No, I mean, it is what it is. So, and then I also heard that from the CDC that the the COVID vaccines will be taking out the immunizations for pregnant women and as well as for healthy kids. So, if you're one of those, it's not required for you to have the COVID vaccine. Now, it also has been reported that a few people within the last week or so had already had COVID, but still unsure if they actually had the new strand that's out. So that's still actually been reported as well. But only thing I can say is like don't be scared or whatever with this new variant that's going on. just know if you know somebody that's sick or if you sick, please stay at home, be mindful. You know, I don't care if somebody's coughing or sneezing or hacking, whatever, stay away from, because you never know they even care it or not, because they don't even call cold or cold anymore, or pneumonia anymore. Everything is called COVID now. So hell, even a simple cough may be called COVID. So all I can say is just stay safe and just be aware. Take care of your health and go to the doctor when you have to. So, but just don't be all shaken up about this new variant, because we didn't went through this before, and the world is not going to go through this whole shutdown thing again, because everybody's already been woke with this. So I wouldn't even be surprised they even do this, because we already know, it is what it is. So just be mindful, make sure you have your disinfectants, have your Lysol, your Clorox wipes, and stay safe with this new MB1A1 virus, what they call for COVID. So that's all I gotta say on that.
Have y'all heard of the chick that unalived her boyfriend because he gave her HIV? He was always very sickly, and he told her that he had sickle cells. She even questioned the meds. There were times he would get so sick that he would ask her to take him to the hospital, but he would never allow her to come in or go to his doctor's appointments, but she respected his boundaries, his privacy, or whatever. And then one day they're all at a cookout, his family's cookout, and then a cousin drinking, and a drunk mind speaks a sober heart. He was just like, I really appreciate you being there for my cousin, because the last girl, when she found out about his sickness, she ran off. We never seen her again, but the fact that you holding him down, that shows a lot about you. And she's like, I know, sickle cells is no joke. Sometimes I feel so bad because I can't take away his pain. And the cousin drunkenly is like, sickle cells, who got sickle cells? And she was like, your cousin. He's like, damn, he got sickle cells too? So she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, nah, he got HIV, snitching. So once he realized, oh shit, she didn't know, she confronted her man at the cookout, cussing his ass out, fighting him. The mother intervened. The mother was like, oh, you don't put your hand on my son, coddling her son. She got mad and went in the car, got her pew-pew, and shot him and his mama. Mama fighting for her life. He's dead.
HIV positive. 2013 is when I found out elevated to AIDS. We went to the doctor, and all I remember is my daughter told me to go upstairs and put on my pajamas. She said when I went upstairs, she had heard a loud thump. And she came running upstairs, and she said I was convulsing, and said foam was coming out of my mouth, and said I was just trembling and shaking, and she panicked. But my youngest daughter knew what to do. Said she lift my head up and all that, and told my daughter to call 911, get an ambulance come, because the disease went straight to my brain. So, and that's what they said, didn't go to no other organ, went to my brain, because it was meant to take me out, and I didn't pass. That's when my daughter came in there crying, and she said, Mama, the doctor just told me that you got 2 weeks to live. And I was like, what? And then she said, yeah. And she said, they said that you're going to probably pass in your sleep. And I was wondering why they would come in there checking on me all the time, because they would come in there and check, because I had dementia. I was doing this sundowning. It was hard, and I was always thinking that I'm seeing stuff, somebody's coming in the house stealing furniture, and I was hallucinating a lot and couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair, so I was really, really bad out. I ended up taking the medicine. It was like a cocktail of medicine. I hated taking it, but my daughters, they had to sit there and watch me take it to make sure I was going to take it. But after she came in there crying, it made me look at things a whole lot different about life, and how much I do love my life, and I love my grandkids and my daughters. I know how when my father took his life, how I felt. She was happy when I wanted to go to therapy, because I knew I needed it. I know I needed 100+%. And the Lord spoke to me and said, you need to forgive yourself. You forgave him, you need to forgive yourself. Because I was mad at myself too, why did you make this stupid mistake? When I met this man online, I had written my first book, and I was promoting it on some social media. He reached out to me and said, I seen you did this book and stuff, and he started talking to me about God. We started talking, we started conversing every single day, giving each other our telephone numbers, and he would call me on my lunch break at work, telling me, then after months, he would tell me he done fell in love with me. So he was a manipulator. He was really grooming me. After 9 months, he wanted us to meet face to face. He was okay. We met and he was okay. He took me to like a jazz restaurant and stuff and took me to the zoo. We went to the zoo. So we had a good time. We'll go out to eat. And that Sunday, he was like, I love you and I want to marry you. And I'm saying to myself, if you want to marry me, you would have came with a ring. He kept begging me for sex. And I kept saying no. And I kept telling him no. And he was like, I don't know when we gonna see each other. And I went ahead, I said, do you have to put on a condom? He acted like he's putting on a condom. But I just really wasn't paying him no attention because when he got done, he was tearing up a paper and everything. But I wasn't feeling well. And I never knew why I wasn't feeling well. And one day I was driving, and that's when I knew something was wrong. So I went to this lady doctor, and she said, well, your symptoms are HIV. And I was like, man, I'm not knowing what the symptoms are. So I was like, no, ain't no way I can have HIV because I didn't know it could stay in your body up to 10 years. But me, of course, I'm going to be the one who stays up in their body 10 years. She asked me, she said, can I test you for HIV? And I said, sure, I know it's going to come back negative because I was sure of myself I didn't have that. She came out and she said, you tested positive. And I was shocked. And I was saying, how the heck did I get this? And, you know, everything was going through my mind. And I was like, no, I ain't got this. I'm going to get a second diagnosis. And knowing she was telling the truth that I had it. Because I had the symptoms. I looked it up. I did have the symptoms. I had the rash on my foot. My throat was hurting like for 3 weeks. I got addicted to cough drop. Fingers, I would wake up and they'd be bent back and stuff like it stuck. That stomach pain was the worst pain I ever had. It was worse than labor pains. It hurt so bad like I couldn't walk. I got married at a young age. I was 16. I thought it was the right thing to do because I had my daughter. So I was thinking it was the right thing to do. My ex-mother-in-law really wanted it so bad, so she went behind our back and had my mother sign the papers. I left my ex-husband because he was like locking me in the house and taking the telephones with him. He would wrap the phone up. I sit and watch him do it. Wrap the phone, take the cord off the wall, wrap the phone up, and take it with him. He would rig up the blinds so I wouldn't look at the window. He made me drop out of high school because he was so jealous and so controlling, and I wasn't even the type of girl. I wasn't raised like he was raised. The second boyfriend, after I left my ex-husband, they kidnapped my kids. They're supposed to keep my kids because I ended up getting pregnant by this man. That's my third daughter who had 5 babies. And I knew that, but I didn't care. I was having dreams about heaven, and my aunt was there. And she told me, she said, you need to go. My nickname is Niecy. And she said, Niecy, you need to go back. And I kept shaking my head. No, she said, you got to go back because you got a lot of stuff to do on earth for the Lord. And she wasn't the second person. Maya Angelou told me that in a dream, too. I had a dream about her as well. So I had these dreams about them when I was sick, and Jesus was talking to me all the time. He would tell me, you're not going to die. He would tell me that. But, you know, I was depressed. I didn't care. But what made me change my thoughts on it, because my daughter came in my room crying. And this is 3 years later now. This is in 2013, because I found out in 2010. The first thing I talked about was civil rights when I moved here. My daughter said that. She said, all you talked about was Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You were talking about John Lewis. And, no, I was talking about everybody. I was like, about John Lewis, you know, Representative John Lewis. All he was looking for was how he used to say it, not bad trouble, good trouble. He used to say, I'm looking for good trouble. And then she said, Dad, you know all that. And then I started learning about politics and getting into politics and stuff. And that's what I want to do. I want to volunteer. When I move back to Louisville, which is my plan, I want to volunteer. I want to be an HIV advocate. So I want to do that. That's where I can really help people and I share my story. Because I do, like I said, I speak at conferences and stuff and in churches, and I see how these people be smiling, and you know, some of them be crying when they hear my story, but they always come up to me and my daughters to say thank you. Because if I made it after all this, they can make it, because I was nearly, you know, gone. I was almost a goner. I'm undetectable now. I was so happy. I couldn't wait to get home and tell my other daughters. I was so happy because I was out of that she gonna die. I was out of that. It was over. It was over. And then I was just ready to live. I was ready to live life. I was able to walk. So that's when I became a motivational speaker. I just love it. And I can't wait to get back to Louisville so I can start again. Because it does help people. And I just love it. And I just love helping people. And I felt good about that. And I'm not in a position to do something for free. But the Lord put that on my heart to do that. And I did it for free.
Y'all finna get mad at me when I say this too. Y'all know I'm a very conservative woman. And so when I see shit like this, I'm like, it didn't even have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. Certain things in our society has kind of made things the way that they are. Tamar Braxton got a little message for y'all, TMI, but since she put it out there, we're gonna unwind it. Let's go.
And I know it. And the reason why I know it is because I'm not going for what everybody else is going for. I'm just not finna do that. Dog, like, all of y'all is dating the same dude. Like, y'all is sharing the same dude. Like, it's giving Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, what's the name of the day that you got him? And then when you get him, you got to sign an NDA. So nobody know you dating the same dude. Dog, signing an NDA to date a regular person is crazy. And then it's like, I'm not finna, like, my time is precious. So it's giving like, is my time not precious enough for you one-on-one? Y'all don't want to date one-on-one. Y'all want to date 30 people, everybody on your roster at the same time. Like, what is we supposed to go on a trip and then you come back home and take somebody to dinner? What that look like? Or you buy 4 Birkins in different colors and everybody get a Birkin? I don't know, I'm different, like, because I am a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. You're not finna introduce me. Hey, this is Tamar. This is my girlfriend, Tamar. No, you're my friend. You're my friend, dog. Like, what are you talking about, Willis? So, they just not for me, because I'm not going along with y'all rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do that. I'm a one-woman man, and I ain't sharing my man with the streets. Although I'm on PrEP, and I would tell everybody to get on PrEP because prepare yourself for the streets.
PrEP, aka shiitake mushroom. I'm not a doctor. Don't protect you from everything. You know, we're interviewing people that's got live herpes. Okay, just kind of say that she has to be on PrEP in order to date because everybody's dating the same man. He makes you sign an NDA. And these are the type of men that everybody want. The ball players, the basketball players, the singers, the artists, you know, it's a network of them. And so very seldomly do they settle down, or do they have to settle down, because there's just so many options out there. And so when you want these type of guys, this is what this comes with. I mean, Keisha Cole, I am sure that pussy has been through something with hunching on it, okay? And he got young girls that he hunching on too. Now, it's very interesting that Tamar said this when I, in fact, saw her take JR, the white man, back after he ate Tommy's ass. This fine ass white man, now, I ain't gonna lie. He's lawyer and everything, but he like black women. Them the ones you got to watch out for. When the white men like black women, they fucking them all because they're taboo. It's like, oh my God, this white dude got swag. He fucking more than you. It's not even about dating a white man. It's not even about dating an Asian man. It's about dating a man that loves, respects you, and puts you first and doesn't humiliate you. We are shaped to think that relationships are about money, and in reality, relationships are about partnerships and about building. These are the women that are representing black women, but they're doing it in a very poor way because they're trying to keep up with looks and appearances. And on the inside, they're dying inside because they're not able to fully live in who they are. This is
Cases of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in our area and rising faster than anywhere else in Texas. Tonight, Matt Doherty looks at which parts of the city are seeing the highest rates of new cases. He joins us live tonight in West Houston. Matt?
Yeah, the study shows the rates of new cases are rising across the board, even among some diseases you may have thought were long gone.
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of those. So it's a big issue we have here in our community.